How would you like to feel happier? And not only happier, but also you're looking and feeling more youthful and vibrant for a longer period of your life. Well, stay tuned and we're going to dive into a meditation, an exact meditation that does this. Hello everyone, and welcome to Balanced Living, where we dive into the human experience and how to stay grounded in a down-to-earth way. In the past 2 episodes, we talked about the benefits of mindful and reflective meditation. Mindful meditation brings the benefits of being more calm and reduces anxiety and being able to focus more. With reflective meditation, we discuss how we're able to change our own negative reactions to the world and understand ourselves more. And as we understand ourselves more, we start to understand others more. So we become more generous with others and less reactive. We don't lose our peace based on what other people are doing as often. Today, I wanted to dive into the 3rd food in our soul diet with a meditation on loving kindness, also known as the metta meditation. Loving kindness meditation is, in essence, a meditation that enhances our ability to feel compassion. But before I go into the meditation benefits, though, I wanted to explain what compassion is, and we start that off by explaining what compassion isn't. A lot of us mix empathy with compassion, and there's a very real difference between the two. So, unlike compassion, empathy is something we are hardwired and built to do. It is an important function that we have to relate to one another. Our hardwiring is especially important when it comes to having children and leaving descendants. Now, all mammals have to care for their babies, but something distinct about us humans is that our children are born so prematurely that we have to care for them and raise them before they can reach a level of maturity where they can move about on their own and they can explore the world on their own. You know how when you see a baby deer and a baby deer is born, they're able to walk and eat on their very own so soon after birth. But because of our heads and our brains are so large, our babies need to be born much before they can have the capacity to explore the world in that way. So in order for our species to even survive, we not only have to care for each other, but we especially need to care for our young. They can't survive without us. And our incentive to do this is the wiring inside of us that makes us feel them. We feel as if they are us. On top of that, we also get hit with strong dosages of good feeling hormones like oxytocin when our babies are around us. And it's more likely that we're going to feel pain when our babies are not being cared for. And this is especially true with a mother and an infant. So empathy is why most parents would easily die for their children. When we emphasize, we tend to see someone as more as a part of our in-group and we adopt their group. So let's say you meet someone and they tell you a story that resonates with you. It touches your heart and you tell them, oh, you're so cool, you're so great. In that instance, you might end up adopting them as part of your in-group. And so that means that you are more likely to accept who they like and dislike who they dislike. If you end up liking me a lot and I say I dislike something, you might end up also being more open to disliking it as well, even if you previously liked it. So when you have someone in an in-group like that, if someone offends them, you might feel offended also. Empathy is also behind the saying, any friend of yours is a friend of mine. Likewise, any enemy of yours becomes my enemy. So in a way, we identify with people with empathy, and they sort of become us. If you remember from our last episode, I talked about how we were kind of made to work in groups. And so our wiring encourages us to do things together by giving us a larger dose of good feeling hormones when we band together. If we sing together, if we march together, if we build together, we feel larger. We feel bigger than ourselves. And we also have an incentive to work together because we naturally feel good. We get those hormones much more. And so we're naturally made to have empathy. So that is what empathy is. It's being able to feel what the other person is feeling and experience what the other person is experiencing. Compassion is a bit distinct from empathy. With compassion, we're able to understand where others are coming from without becoming a part of the story or putting ourselves in their situation. So we're not identifying ourselves as them. We can offer our support without suffering with them and without draining our own energy or feeling their experience in our own bodies. We don't automatically take on their friends as our friends or their enemies as our enemies. In fact, the opposite sort of happens. We hold this space of safety for them, this space of groundedness, this space of love, which makes it more likely that they will feel more uplifted afterwards without us having to sacrifice our own mood and our own state of being. Notice in a profession like a doctor or a nurse or a curandera like me, who works with people who are under a lot of stress all the time, a lot of them can look really, really drained and really tired, and they can burn out if they're empathizing too much. A loving kindness meditation helps us to have access to our compassionate side, and it's a practice that cultivates and nurtures feelings of unconditional kindness and love towards ourselves and others by feeling it in the heart area. And as usual, if we have something for ourselves, we're going to feel it for others. So if we feel compassion for ourselves, it'll be a lot easier to feel it for others. So it's really beneficial in this way. Loving kindness meditations tend to include silent mantras or phrases of blessings. Overall, it's a good idea to just have that joyful, loving feeling in your heart and nice, slow, and rhythmic breathing. And the idea behind the meditation is that each time we do it, we're cultivating more benevolence and friendliness and goodwill. And doing this practice won't turn off our empathy, nor should we want to do that, because empathy is extremely useful in our lives. In fact, people with a deficiency in empathy, like a psychopath, they have an easier time manipulating others for self-gain. So without the ability to feel what others are feeling, we can really bring a lot of harm to one another. But overall, this practice of loving kindness meditation and bringing about more compassion and expanding on that side of us that has the capability of having compassion, it brings about more positive emotions and decreases our intensity of our negative emotions. And it also just makes us happier overall. It helps us to get along better with others and to be more connected. And it makes it more enjoyable to be connected. It even decreases the pain in our bodies and helps increase our health span. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term health span, it is the amount of time we have a higher quality of life. We can have a long lifespan, but within that long lifespan, we could spend 60 years healthy and then the next 20 years bedridden and full of disease. So a health span is the length of time in our life for which we're in good health. Our energy is vibrant, we're able to walk about, and our skin is more elastic and healthy. And those who work with me know just how important I think a state of joy and good feeling is for healing and good health. Any kind of techniques I do, it must include a joyful feeling. So let me get a tiny bit technical here to explain a little science about why the joyfulness and being happier helps us with our health. So we have a small section in our chromosomes called telomeres, and these telomeres have a length, and their length marks our sign of how fast we're aging and how fast our body is deteriorating. And so the more stress we have, the faster our bodies deteriorate. So these telomeres can tell how fast or slow this is happening. The longer the telomere length, the longer our health span. And there was a study done, I am so sorry I don't remember the exact name of the study, but there was a study done on a control group of women who were all the same age. Researchers have found that those who practice the loving kindness meditation over a period of time, I'm sorry, I'm not even remembering the period of time, but those who practiced over a period of time, the ones that practiced the loving kindness meditation had significantly longer telomeres. Not only did they have longer telomeres, but their telomeres got longer over time. So this means that even if your body and skin have been damaged from years of stress, the loving kindness meditation can reverse the damage. It's not uncommon for monks in Tibet to live up to 120 years old while still having a very healthy body. And when asked the secret to their long health span, their answer is usually love, but in their language, love is often translated into compassion. So they're synonyms, they mean the same thing. So adding this meditation to your soul diet can literally help you become a happier and healthier person who enjoys the company of others. Now we have 3 foods to include in our diet. And so you might be asking, how often am I supposed to be doing these foods? And so we'll get into that next time when we talk about the last meditation type, the transcendental meditation. The one thing that is important with any meditation practice is that it becomes a practice. It's a routine. If you do not find a meditation that you enjoy and you can't do it as a routine, you just do it once in a blue moon, you're not really going to see the benefits. But if you're doing it as a routine and you're consistently getting those vitamins, just like a healthy food, then you will have those benefits. And it's incredible, and they actually get better and better over time. Until next time, may you be well and be mindful.